Niceness and how far it takes you. Recently, I was thinking about this concept because I've been very successful in talking to people and sort of getting stuff, especially doctors, and interacting with them. And I feel part of it may be that they're just nicer people that I happen to interact with. Like my mom's ophthalmologist is doing a lot to really try to help her out. And the question I have is it me or is it just the person? Another day I had a patient who said how wonderful the staff was here. I said, no, but it has to do with you too. He's just a nice, cheery, smiling person. Always smiling. There's a lot of stuff going on with him. His body doesn't work well. But he's always so upbeat. And I'm sure that matters to the staff that interact with him. And I think that's the thing for me about this whole idea of niceness. There's sayings like you could catch more flies with honey. But they don't really illustrate in a practical way what it means to be nice, what it means to get people on your side. So when I'm talking to other doctors trying to get stuff for myself or my family, I use some flattery. I say how good they are at this or that. And I find it to be really helpful. And they end up being good, being helpful. You tell them you're helpful, and they are helpful. If they weren't helpful in the past, but you tell them they're helpful, they're still more likely to be helpful. It just works that way, right? And I think one thing is there's some people who are just very praisey, right? They praise a lot of people. That's not the way I was raised. That's not the way people around me are. That's not the way the medical field is in most places. You don't praise people for doing their job. They're just supposed to do their job. Recently, I heard some colleagues talking about how this person said, oh, you do so much for your patients. I love when you take care of it. I love when I see you. You just make me so happy. And it's like, how else can you respond to that but positively? I think that's the thing about interaction, right? We all know it's a two-way street. But so often, what you get is what you give. And we don't think of it that way. We think that person, that doctor is going to do for us what they do. And that's true in a sense. It's like genes versus nature versus nurture, right? Environment versus what you're born with. But I think it's so much more. There's doctors who don't try hard for most people, but they do for certain people. There's many doctors who do well for every person, and you don't have to worry much about interacting with those people. But how is it not better to increase your chances and just to be nice, generously your praise, telling people how helpful they are, how delightful they are, how great they are, how smart they are, how hardworking they are, all these things. How is flattery not a better way for living our life rather than demanding stuff, right? Going to the person at McDonald's saying, hey, I like your t-shirt. Or last night, it's Halloween, saying, wow, that's a really cool costume. How'd you think of it? I mean, it fits into like your work, but also, that you're dressed up for Halloween. I really like it. How does that hurt? How is that not a positive thing? To which most people respond positively. I mean, it's really interesting when you start thinking about these things. Because I asked some people, look, my mom's ophthalmologist responded so positively. Do you think it's because my message I wrote to him, or he's just a nice guy? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm a great writer, but maybe it doesn't really matter. And really, it's just him. But either way, you don't know. You can't retry and see what happens. So why don't you just give every chance, every interaction, your best shot? You'd be happy meeting somebody famous and important. It's genuine enthusiasm. You really think they're great, they're powerful, they're cool. Why not act that way to everybody you meet? Even the lowest people, they're important, right? My wife told me a story about Vietnam, how somebody was just nice and friendly to everybody, including the cleaners. And that literally saved her life because one time she was stuck in a fridge, those walk-in fridges, freezers, and it's soundproof, can't hear anything. And she thought she was dead, right? She forgot her cell phone, no way to get help. She's going to just freeze to death. But Somebody came and opened the door. The cleaner didn't see her that day. She didn't say hi. So the cleaner knew something was wrong and came and tried to find the person. Everybody is important. And when you take that attitude, when you treat people like they're important, when they're powerful, when they can do stuff for you, and they do stuff for you, they help you out, they're more generous, they're more friendly. I think flattery is one of those skills that's often used. With my education, with the people I know, we're trained to use logic. But who doesn't want some flattery? Who doesn't want to hear how nice they look, how great they are? Why don't we use it as a tool? Just like how most of us have come to accept small talk as important interactions. Something I'm working on. And as I've done it the past few days, the past few weeks, it just gets easier. You get better at it. It makes you feel fine, feel better. Why isn't it not just a better way of interacting with people? Forever.